Okay, so now let's talk about food and drink. I know a lot of people get intimidated by that, but really this is the fun stuff. This is where you get to tell your guests what's really good to eat here and what's really good to drink here and how they might go together. Here's the only problem. Just because you like them together, and that's cool stuff, you want to share that, but just because you like it doesn't mean they're going to like it. Most people show up already having some preference about what they want to eat or what they want to drink. So now all of a sudden your job is kind of simple. You just tell them what's for sale and they find what they want, right? Nah, I don't think so. I think what you can do is you can start to give them descriptions of things that you think are really fun together. And when you describe them, make them sound good because they are good, right? I mean, you work in a nice joint, right? So here you go. Use words like light and heavy. Everybody agrees on light and heavy. Some of these words, we have trouble with, but light and heavy, I know what a light dish is. Like shrimp is usually kind of light, or a salad is kind of light, and a cocktail, like a mojito or something like that, with soda in it or whatever. That's a light drink, right? Light white wine, right? Okay, and then heavy, right? You got the heavy dish, the steak, the burger, whatever it is, and a heavy drink that goes with it, like a red wine or maybe like a whiskey drink or whatever. So those are nice, easy words. A lot of times the words we use are sweet or sour or salt or bitter. Those are the kind of basic flavor groups that people talk about. Another flavor called umami for another day. So sweet, yeah, I get that. Everybody likes sweet, and most drinks and even many wines have a touch of sweetness to them, or a lot of sweetness to them. Or sour. Now, sour is not a word that people really like to hear. So you know what we say instead? We say it's tangy, a little tart, refreshing. Yeah, those are words that people like. And salt, I mean, even salt shows up in some of our drinks on a salt rim or what have you, right? So let's think about some of the combos we could then go with. Burger and beer. I mean, that's pretty classic, right? But here's why it works. The burger is kind of rich and maybe it's a little fatty and oily and a little heavy. And then beer, well, beer is not heavy, but what does beer have? Bubbles, little scrubby bubbles that kind of come in and clean up that oiliness, the richness of the burger, and make it taste good again every time you take a new bite. Or, I don't know, steak and red wine, right? Heavy. Now, heavy goes, instead of something light and bubbly and effervescent, heavy goes with heavy, red wine, right? So the heavy and the heavy kind of match each other and neither one overpowers the other. And then the classic chips and salsa and margarita. Let's think about this for a second. It's actually a very complex combination. You have the chips, which are kind of oily and salty, and the salsa, which is tangy and maybe even a little bit hot and maybe a little bit sweet. And then the margarita, which is kind of that same guy. It comes in with the tangy and a little bit of the sweet, a little bit of the salt on the rim. And now you see you've got all these flavors that have come together and they start to cross over and they start to make greater complexity. And yet most of us would just say they taste delicious. And isn't that what we're looking for at the end of the day?